Gentlemen, welcome to our Tuesday, October the 1st City Council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. I trust that your cell phones have been placed on silence. At this time, well, Councilwoman Dotley has not shown up. So at this time, we're going to stand and pledge to the flag. So if you'd stand, please, render the proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we do have a couple of special presentations this afternoon. I want to recognize our mayor, Mayor Tim Kelly, is here to present some special guests. But first, we're going to have a proclamation for National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We're going to ask Councilwoman Burrs if she'd come at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Regina? So we have passed out the purple ribbons in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. When domestic violence happens in 1 in 3 families in the state, then you know it's happened in our families or people we know, whatever. The Family Justice Center we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary, and has done a fabulous job in addressing, thanks to your largesse, thanks for approving the funding to help families, children, elder abuse, and as we heard a little earlier today from YCAP, all the sorts of programs in between, they happen at the Family Justice Center. So with that, Regina. Whereas the family is the foundation of a safe and healthy community, and it is a goal of this mayoral administration for our communities to be safe. And whereas domestic violence impacts individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality, in which children are also affected, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced physical violence by an intimate partner. Whereas more than half of crimes against persons in Tennessee are domestic violence related, research shows that domestic violence is often a root cause of other crimes, such as mass shootings and gun violence. We've had a couple of those recently directly related to domestic violence. Within the city of Chattanooga, we have experienced almost 800 domestic violence incidents so far this year of 2024. Whereas domestic violence is not always revealed as physical abuse, it is also any pattern of behaviors that attempt to control and intimidate a partner or family member through fear, manipulation, isolation, financial abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, stalking, mental abuse, and/or verbal abuse. While physical injury with visible damage may often be the most obvious sign of offense, the effect of emotional, psychological, social, and spiritual trauma is much deeper and can have lifelong consequences for survivors and their families. And whereas we leaders in this community realize that family is the foundation and core of a safe and healthy community, and ending domestic violence requires a combined effort involving every part of our society, including law enforcement and our justice system, to work together to hold offenders accountable and to protect and empower survivors and their children to create pathways to hope and safety. Whereas the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Family Justice Center served almost 1,100 victims in 2023 and provided 169 trainings, together with their co-located partner organizations, there is help to hold offenders accountable and reduce recidivism while helping to ensure justice, victim safety, and healing. And whereas during National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we reaffirm our dedication to forging a community where no one suffers the pain and hardship that domestic violence causes, And we recommend to doing all that is within our power to uphold the basic human right to be free from violence and abuse. And whereas we dedicate ourselves to create a community where domestic violence is not tolerated, where survivors are supported, and where offenders are held accountable, and where all people have an opportunity to thrive without fear of violence or abuse. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in us, we do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Domestic Violence Month. Witness thereof, the mayor of our great city, whom you'll hear from in a while, and the Chattanooga City Council. Regina, thank you so much.
Thank you. I will be very brief, but I would really like to say thank you to Dr. Burrs, Councilwoman Burrs, and the City Council for all of the support and the funding that we get at the Family Justice Center. Thankful to the mayor. You heard how many people we served. We've more than doubled the number of people we served 4 years ago. So it's really important for us to be in the community, working in the community, and we have been doing that. It is an honor for us to be a part of the city of Chattanooga and to provide services to citizens within Chattanooga. We are blessed and thankful for the funding because it really makes a difference in the lives. Even if it were just one person, it would be worth it. But it makes a difference in the lives of so many people in our community who are suffering from domestic violence. And I want to thank you. I do want to mention one thing. We have a couple of events coming up, and I want to personally invite you to, we have a Appreciation Day, Law Enforcement and Advocate Appreciation Day, October the 9th, which is next week, from 11 to 2 o'clock, and we are providing lunch. We have a great partner who's bringing hamburgers and cooking them down there, so we wanted to invite you to lunch that day and hope that you can make it. Thank you. Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome.
Dr. Burrs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to welcome you to the podium and introduce our special guest.
Well, thank you. And again, I just want to say thank you to Councilwoman Burrs for her leadership around the Family Justice Center. We're really so fortunate to have the Family Justice Center in this community. So much of what we do as community leaders is dealing with trauma, really, and helping people to recover well from trauma and to stop those after effects. And again, before I introduce our visitors, I want to acknowledge the timing of this. This visit from our Ukrainian friends was organized a long time ago, and it's unfortunate that it's now coinciding with this unimaginable pain that's happening in Upper East Tennessee and in Western North Carolina. Plenty of trauma to go around, but our hearts are with our neighbors in Appalachia, and again, the fire department, to their credit, eternal credit, are already out there providing disaster relief in Chattanooga as a community, including me in my private capacity, are involved in providing relief to Appalachia. So I encourage everyone within the sound of my voice to help our friends out in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. But the spirit of our generosity and the spirit of this city extend well beyond our region and natural disasters, which we will recover from in time. That same Chattanoogan spirit of care and helpfulness and generosity extends to our friendship with the city of Trostianets, Ukraine. And there, democracy itself is under threat. And the death and destruction that they've been suffering has not been confined to a weekend. It's been over the course of years now. It is profound suffering that nobody here can even remember the scale of. So I want to acknowledge and welcome my friend, Trostianets Mayor Yuri Bova, who is here with us. Say hello. He and his delegation who are here with him tonight have been touring sites around Chattanooga and will be here through Thursday or Friday. As you can see from the slide, Mayor Bova and I met at a city summit back in April of 2023. And again, as a mayor, I believe that really cities are our greatest human invention. They are what will, continue to push the limits of human progress forward. And so, Chattanooga has a long tradition of partnership with cities. We became a peer friendship city in August of 2023, and our cities have a tremendous amount in common. They're both green and beautiful cities with healthy tourism and industrial bases. We have a history of candy production. They have the largest chocolate factory in Europe in Trostyanets, some of which I think we're going to be given shortly, and I can tell you it's excellent chocolate. But look, they have suffered tremendously from a 31-day occupation of Russian armed forces from February to March of 2022, and it has left deep, deep scars on their community, and I think we have to honor our commitment to support our global friends in their time of needs. We have a long history of doing this, and with international partnership. I was an exchange student in Hamm in Germany, and we, of course, have many other sister cities around the world. Trostyanets, unfortunately, has been left in ruin and without power in many cases. The damages there are estimated to be about $120 million, and I would say that's not in U.S. building dollars, that's in Ukrainian dollars. And our partnership is meaningful, and we hope to not only show solidarity and encouragement to the people of Trostyanets and begin an exchange of hopefully youth and ideas. We've done some of that already, but also give Trostyanets a platform to raise awareness and funds to purchase the generators they so desperately need. We have a strong group of volunteers here in the community to spearhead this effort. And again, the ask is very simple and very specific. They need generators. Ukrainian winters are long and cold, and these are the only source of power they will have to get through that long, cold Ukrainian winter, to power their hospitals, their humanitarian shelters, their schools, their wastewater facilities, and their homes. So look, we have always been a city that rises to the occasion for friends in need, and I should hope that this will be no exception. And once this war is finally over, we look forward to helping Trostyanets rise from that destruction and rebuild with ideas and planning and assistance from our generous community. So look, by building a bridge and strengthening this bridge between our two cities, we will create lasting bonds that will enrich both cities and create bonds of friendship and exchange, ideas, culture for our youth and our cities. So again, just know that you're not alone in your struggles, and Chattanooga is here to help you rebuild for a brighter future. So thank you. Yeah.
And we have, I believe we have a short video, and then Mayor Bova is going to speak for just very briefly, if that's all right.
Шановні жителі нашої громади, ситуація залишається максимально напруженою. Російські війська великою кількістю, більше сотні одиниць техніки, сьогодні пройшли через Велику Писарівку, через Славгород і інші населені пункти Краснопільського і Великописарівського району. Зараз триває бій проти російських окупантів.
And I'd like to ask Mayor Bova and his translator to come up and say a few words. You can just stand right here and the microphone should pick you up.
Шановні наші друзі, я дуже дякую вам за запрошення сьогодні відвідати Чаттанугу і виступити перед такою поважною аудиторією в цій місцевій раді, де приймаються найважливіші закони життя вашої громади.
Dear friends, I thank you so much for welcoming us, for inviting us to Chattanooga, and for giving me an opportunity to speak in front of this respected audience, in front of the council, which adopts the most important decisions for Chattanooga, for the life of Chattanooga residents.
По-перше, я хочу сьогодні від всього українського народу подякувати кожному американцю за підтримку України.
Firstly, on behalf of all Ukrainian people, I would like to thank each and every American for supporting Ukraine.
Я хочу подякувати за кожен сплачений долар податків, який пішов на Україну для підтримки наших військових і для відбудови України.
I want to thank for every dollar paid by American taxpayers that went to support Ukrainian army and Ukrainian society.
Ви тільки що побачили, що роблять росіяни, коли приходять в якесь українське місто.
You just saw with your own eyes what the Russians do when they come to a Ukrainian city.
Вони вбивають цивільних людей. Вони руйнують житлові будинки, садочки, школи. Вони розстріляли нашу лікарню з танків.
They kill the civil population, they ruin schools, kindergartens, they shelled our hospital from their tanks.
Важко уявити, що переживала жінка, коли народжувала дітей в нашій лікарні, коли в цей момент стріляли російські танки по цій будівлі.
It is difficult to imagine what that there was a woman who delivered her twins in the hospital when the Russians started shelling the hospital from the tanks, and it's difficult to imagine what she went through.
Важко уявити, які відчуття і як жити цим дітям, на очах яких вбивали їхніх батьків.
It is difficult to imagine what the kids experienced that saw their parents being killed by the Russians just in front of them.
І сьогодні ми разом з вами зупиняємо цю агресію.
And together with you, we are stopping this aggression.
Ми разом з вами відновлюємо справедливість і демократію в світі.
Together with you, we renew the global democracy and justice.
Ми кожній країні світу говоримо про те, що зло сьогодні не може перемогти.
We tell each country of the world that it is impossible that evil wins today.
І ми дякуємо вам, що ви в цей дуже важкий час з народом України.
And we thank you for standing with the people of Ukraine in these difficult times.
Ми вже 2 роки як звільнені від росіян.
It's been 2 years since we've been liberated from the Russian occupation.
Ми активно відбудовуємо наше місто.
We actively rebuilt our town.
Ви можете уявити, що 95% людей повернулися назад в місто.
Imagine 95% of our population returned to the city.
Ви можете уявити, що жоден з підприємців і підприємств нашого міста не покинув громаду.
None of the businesses, none of the entrepreneurs left the community.
Бо ми робимо все, щоб забезпечити людей робочими містами, належними комунальними послугами, щоб люди постаралися максимально швидше забути ці страхіття війни.
We do our best to ensure jobs for our residents, to provide quality municipal services, to help our people forget the horrors of what they have been through.
І ми робимо це, звісно, не самі. Ми робимо це з нашими друзями з усього світу.
But we're not there alone. We do it with our friends from all over the world.
У нас є міста-партнери в Європі і відтепер є місто-партнер в Америці.
We have partner towns in Europe, and from now on we have a partner city in the United States.
І ми разом з вами вже починаємо мріяти про відбудову кожного об'єкта, як він повинен по-сучасному виглядати.
Together with you, we start dreaming about rebuilding each our facility. We start developing a vision what we want it to look like.
І сьогоднішній наш візит нашої делегації для того, щоб вивчити досвід вашого міста.
Our visit today is to learn from the experience of your city.
Ми другий день відвідуємо різні об'єкти.
It's been the second day of our agenda, and we are visiting different facilities.
Але ми бачимо, як ви якісно розвиваєте свою територію.
We see how well you develop your territory.
Ми бачимо, як ви перетворюєте занедбані території в нові парки, нові сквери, спортивні об'єкти.
We see how you transform, how you turn the abandoned territories into new parks, new sport facilities, new culture facilities.
Ми бачимо, як ви в навіть найбідніших мікрорайонах будуєте культурні і спортивні центри.
And we see that you build community centers and sport facilities even in the districts where the most disadvantaged population lives.
Ми бачимо, як сьогодні ефективно працює система охорони здоров'я.
We see how efficient your healthcare system is.
Я переконаний, що попереду ми ще багато цікавих речей побачимо.
And I'm sure there are many interesting things to see ahead.
І сьогодні цей досвід дуже важливий.
And this experience is very valuable for us today.
Президент України Володимир Зеленський і уряд України визначили Тростянець одним з 5 населених пунктів, з яких почнеться відбудова України.
President Zelensky and the government of Ukraine included Trostenets among 5 first cities to start Ukrainian reconstruction.
І саме досвід вашого міста ми покладемо також в відбудову нашої громади.
And the experience of your city, your best practices, will also lay the foundations for rebuilding Trostenets.
Це наша спільна історична місія.
This is our joint historical mission.
А на цьому прикладі будуть вчитися інші громади, які будуть звільнятися від росіян.
And Trostenets will become model for for rebuilding other Ukrainian towns liberated from the Russian occupation.
Звісно, попереду важкі випробування зимою для нашого українського народу.
Of course, the Ukrainians will be challenged by this winter.
Росіяни зараз б'ють по енергетичній інфраструктурі нашої громади. Не всієї України, сорі.
The Russians are aiming at the energy infrastructure of Ukraine.
Я зараз тут стою, а над нашим містом летять ракети.
I'm standing here in front of you, and missiles are flying above our city.
В який об'єкт вони потраплять, ми ще не знаємо.
We yet don't know where they will hit.
Але ми повинні бути готовими до самих складних випробувань.
But we need to be prepared for the most difficult challenges.
Росіяни не зламали міць нашого війська, і я переконаний, не зламають наш народ.
The Russians didn't break down our army, and I'm sure they will not break down our people.
Навіть якщо ми залишимося без електрики, ми можемо включити генератори, і я дякую за цю ініціативу для наших дітей, щоб наші діти навчалися і люди отримували належні послуги.
Even if we don't have electricity supply, we can turn the generator on and still have power, and I'm very grateful for this initiative, because this will help our kids to have uninterrupted schooling process.
Ну і, звісно, ми говоримо з мером Тімом Келлі про майбутні перспективи співпраці між містами в сенсі економічного розвитку.
And of course, we talked with Mayor Kelly about possible cooperation in the future, about some perspectives for our development.
В нашому місті так історично склалося, працює перша іноземна компанія, яка війшла на територію України, це шоколадна фабрика з Америки.
Our city is the home for an American company. They have the production facility in our city, and they were the first foreign international company that invested in Ukraine.
І це найбільші приклади нашого спільного україно-американського успіху.
And these are the great examples of joint Ukrainian-American success.
Це найбільший приклад нашого майбутнього успіху.
And these are the best examples of our future success.
В цю фабрику американський бізнес інвестував свого часу $250 мільйонів США.
The American company invested $250 million in the production facilities.
Росіяни знали, що це американська фабрика, але вони її навмисно зруйнували.
The Russians knew that this is an American chocolate factory, so they ruined it on purpose. They were aiming at it.
Але знаєте, за що я вдячний? Що американська фабрика не пішла з нашого міста.
But I'm very grateful to the American company that they didn't leave our city.
Вони не побоялися далі бути за 40 кілометрів від російського кордону.
They were not scared, they were not afraid to stay 40 kilometers away from the Russian border.
І вони відновили повністю виробництво.
So they resumed their production.
1000 людей повернулись на роботу.
1,000 people got back to their work.
А податки йдуть для роботи шкіл, лікарні, дитсадків.
And we use the tax money to ensure functioning of our schools, hospitals, kindergartens.
Тобто це не просто шоколад, це про незламність американського бізнесу в Україні.
So this is not merely a chocolate bar. This is about invincibility of the Ukrainian people.
А ще він гарний шоколад.
And it's a good chocolate.
Да. Тому цей шоколад сьогодні вам. Ми не могли привезти всім сьогодні, але ми наступного разу обов'язково привеземо.
Sorry, we couldn't provide chocolate for all of you because of luggage restrictions, but next time we will make sure we bring it for all.
Я переконаний, що у нас багато цікавих ініціатив, які можуть бути між нашим бізнесом, вашого міста і нашим бізнесом, і нашим містом.
I'm sure we will have many interesting initiatives, joint initiatives between your city and our city ahead of us.
Ми готові створити найякісніші умови для кожного вашого підприємця, який після війни захоче інвестувати свої кошти в економіку України.
We are ready to provide as enabling environment as possible for any company, for any American company that would want to invest in Ukraine after we are victorious.
І ми ще багато цікавих прикладів почуємо спільної нашої співпраці між нашими містами Тростянцем і Чаттанугою.
We will see more examples of cooperation between Chattanooga and Trostянець.
Тому я вкотре хочу подякувати вам за підтримку нашого міста, за партнерство і за віру в нашу спільну перемогу.
So again, I want to thank you for supporting our town, for our partnership, and for your faith in our victory.
І ми дякуємо за кожен долар, який сьогодні йде на відновлення України.
And we thank you for every dollar that goes for Ukraine's recovery.
І дозвольте сьогодні меру Тіму Келлі вручити від нашої міської ради таку подяку за важливу підтримку нашого міста і підтримку в подальшій розбудові нашого міста.
And I would like to present Mayor Kelly the sign of our gratitude on behalf of our city. This is our gratitude for the support of our city recovery and for the support of further cooperation.
І ми хочемо, щоб з цією подякою була вдячність кожному з вас, і ми бажаємо кожному з вас міцного здоров'я, і щоб мирне небо було завжди над вашою головою.
And this is a sign of our gratitude, that we are thankful to each and every one of you, and we wish you all health, wealth, and peaceful sky above you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. say thanks. Yeah, well, this is a nice
І
one.
це ще один прапор нашої громади. Чим більше їх буде, тим буде краще.
We have one of
the
these in,
community flag.
in the mayor's office, so we'll leave this one for you for your change.
Okay. We'll put it in the chair's office.
Добре, супер. У нас прапор Читануги висить прямо в центрі міста.
Chattanooga flag is hanging right in the middle of the city, right in the downtown.
Я запрошую вас до нашого міста. Ми раді, що у нас є такі друзі.
Welcome to our city, and we are happy to have friends like you.
Дякую за увагу.
Thank you.
Дякую.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So Mayor, we'd like to welcome you to Chattanooga. We have a special little pen and pencil set from the city of Chattanooga that we'd like to present to the delegation. Well,
Дякую вам. Дякую. І thank you for support Ukraine and thank you for stay Ukraine.
yes.
With Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, you plan on staying for the rest of this, or would you like to?
Nope, please proceed.
Okay, all right. I just want to give you an opportunity. Do what? Oh, he's going to take me up on it now. Okay. All right, moving into our agenda for this afternoon, could I have a motion on the minutes, please? All right, we have a motion on the minutes with a proper second. Without any objection, they'll stand as recorded. Moving into this week's agenda, we have we have one reading on final, one ordinance on final reading. Any question or comment on our ordinance on final reading? Moving into first reading, have a couple of items there under ordinance's first reading. Moving into resolutions, we have several on our agenda tonight. Is there anything under resolutions that need to be brought to the council at this time? All right, if not, we'll move into next week's proposed agenda. Moving into final reading, all the ordinances on first reading this afternoon will be under final reading next week. Ordinances under first reading, you heard in strategic planning this afternoon about the request from CARTA on some ordinance changes that relate to CARTA. Any questions or comments under those? And then we will have, I think, Councilman Planning and Zoning this afternoon, Planning and Zoning Committee, which we'll go over the zoning requests at that time. Moving down into resolutions for next week. Any question or comment concerning any of those? All right. If not, turning your attention to the purchase items for this afternoon. Any questions or comments concerning purchase? It's not. No, it didn't. There we go.
All right.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, there are several things on purchase that have to do with comments that were made during the budget process. The budget process never stops. We just work behind the scenes to do a lot of things so that when we present information to my colleagues and to the public, that all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted. Today, we have explanations for some items on the purchase list that address the comments you made earlier this spring. So if we may, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to come on up, Bill?
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, council members. I'm Steve Wilson. I'm the interim Deputy Chief Operating Officer. I'd like to speak on behalf of the first three items that are on your purchase list today, which are all for consulting services. And as Councilwoman Burris pointed out, they're in reference to items that have garnered attention during the budget process, and also items that just prevent us from being that responsive and effective government that we are trying to be. So there are, I think we have a few slides if they're queued up, but there's three in particular. The first one is for GFOA. They're all consulting services that are primarily related in the finance department, but not holistically. And GFOA, of course, Government Finance Officers Association, is someone we've done business with before. That's a sole source purchase, as they are, have the licenses and certifications that go beyond the competition and are specific to the needs here. And what we're really asking them to do is in regards to the general fund reserve, to really come in, do a risk analysis and a risk assessment and analysis to help us really determine what that reserve should be. And GFOA specifically has a model that looks at thousands of scenarios from just normal day-to-day expenses and occurrences to disaster things such as we saw this weekend. And their model analyzes thousands of different things and is kind of the best there is to project the best scenarios for us and what our reserves should be. So they'll provide that analysis, and then also we'll have the ability to update that in future with different assumptions as we move forward. But looking to get that at a cost of $75,000. The second one is EY, previously Ernst & Young. And this one's for process improvements in several areas. And we've asked EY to come in, and we looked at some others as well. EY is the ones that we chose because they are a global entity that has a lot of experience in government as well as other industries. And we're looking for them to analyze the processes, the staff, to come up with process improvements, but not to just move us from where we are to a step further, but we want someone that could bring in best practices in the industry and compare us to what other great cities are doing so we can see what those gaps are and what we need to improve in that area. And the outcome there would be that they would be looking for ways that we can improve processes, add automation, potentially AI, possibly outsourcing, just looking at all the different possibilities to make us more effective in these four key departments or teams. And they'll provide us with a roadmap for how we would need to proceed going forward. The four areas, as you can see on the slides, are in our purchasing department, really looking at streamlining that process so that we can be more effective at paying bills on time and potentially increasing our bidder pool as well. Payroll, we definitely want to put some focus on our payroll process, and also with the goal of being able to shorten the timeline to that first paycheck for our employees. City court's another area that's just not gotten a lot of focus, not gotten a lot of love over the years. So we want to go in and give them some attention so that they can just make sure that they're have an effective, efficient process to be able to serve the citizens well. And then lastly is the city attorney's office, where we would primarily look at the time for contract reviews and also just making sure that we are optimizing the litigation process, make sure we've got the right resources on the right types of cases. And lastly is PFM. This one, we already have a contract with PFM. They are our financial advisors. So we're just looking to make an addendum to add to the scope of the current project for them. So they traditionally, advise us on things such as bonds. I think they're currently working with us on our on the ballpark bonds. But what we're asking them to do here is twofold. The first one is kind of an assessment of our budget process to make sure that we are creating a budget and managing a budget effectively, that we have a budget that is realistic and really represents the work that's really going on in the city, so that we can better achieve and maintain those budgets. And we're going to dive in specifically to three of our most challenging and largest departments, which are Public Works, Parks, and Police. That's where they will focus their attention, and then they'll provide a model and some scenarios and on ways that we can be more dynamic in our budgeting process. And lastly, the second piece to them, which is listed there as phase 3, is we will also have them look at our property tax model. So we know we're coming up on another year of property assessment is coming up, which will create a good opportunity for us to have a new model in place to better evaluate tax rate versus collection rate and the assessed value to make sure that we are doing the right thing for the city as we set the rates going forward. That's the 3. Are there any questions?
Just a comment. I want to thank you very much for the hard work that you've done on this. Well, you and the whole area. The goal, Mr. Chair, is to make sure that when information finally hits our desks, all of this has been done so that we can trust that everything that's presented to us is solid and meets best business practices. We identified during the budget process areas that could be done better, and so this is in response to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vice Chair Hill?
Yeah, Councilwoman Burrs, thank you very much for requesting this presentation. It really helped me to understand how many boxes were ticking with these 3 contracts of things that were vitally important to us, areas of the city administration where we feel like we have a lot of opportunity for improvement. And I, for one, am looking forward to the results of this work. So thank you very much for bringing it to us.
Councilman Ledford?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Also, Dr. Burrs, thank you for bringing this. This feels like this is leaning into, I think, suggestive policy changes in the future that I hope will be on the tail end of this, something that we can tangibly sink our teeth into, so to speak, and make some substantial changes that benefit our taxpayers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, any more questions or comments? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I would like to recognize our sworn pension fund representative, Chris Hopkins, is with us here this afternoon as well. Thank you, Chris, for being here. All right, any other questions or comments on tonight's purchases? If not, we'll now move into future considerations. If you would let me know if there's any questions or comments, concerns, anything on our 3-week future considerations. Vice Chair Hill.
Council, with regard to item 10A1, it's a resolution regarding a waiver of park rental fees for a 1-year memorial service and tree dedication for the Devia family, where we had the tragic loss of life on Fraser Avenue. This is for a really thoughtful memorial service and mural creation and tree planting dedication event. But I did want to make you aware that I'm working with the City Attorney's Office and the Parks Department to change the language to remove the deposits from that resolution. So it'll take it down to a fee waiver of $1,320, I believe. And the organization has already paid the deposits.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Anything else on our future considerations? All right, one program note, due to National Night Out this evening, we will not be taking a recess. We will just move right through into our order of business after we have our Parks and Public Works Committee and Planning and Zoning Committee. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Councilman Hester for Parks and Public Works.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome to Parks and Public Works Committee. Madam Clerk, if you're ready. You good? Can we accept the minutes? Good. 8A, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sewer easement in the 100 block of Willie Way beginning at MH number S154A008, thence 242 feet to MH number S154A010, tax map number 154A-A-018, as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
I see no hands. B, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sanitary sewer and easement in the 3700 block of Valerian Drive, beginning 24.86 feet from MH number S118F040, thence 130.43 feet to 24.93 feet from MH number S118F042, for a total of 130.43 linear feet. Tax map number 118F-D-003, as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. I see no hands. G and H, please.
Item G, a resolution for the City of Chattanooga to apply for and if awarded, accept a Riverview Foundation grant for the development of the access point to the Tennessee River at Terminal Road for an amount of $75,000. Item H, a resolution authorizing the Department of Parks and Outdoors to apply for and if awarded, accept a Childhood Obesity Prevention and Environmental Health and Sustainability Grant from the U.S. Conference of Mayors in support of the Every Kid Outdoor Program in the amount of $175,000.
I, please.
A resolution authorizing the Administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number E-13-002-201, Walnut Street Pedestrian Bridge Repairs, Federal Project number STP-M-HPP-9202134, State Project number 33LPLM-F3-229, to Southern Road and Bridge LLC of Tarpon Springs, Florida, in the amount of $34,656,886.00, with a contingency in the amount of $335,928.56, for a total amount of $34,992,814.56.
Thank you. J, please. J and K, please.
Item J, a resolution authorizing the Administrator for the Department of Public Works to authorize change order number 2 for design, bid award, and construction administration services provided by Volkert and Associates, Inc. for contract number E-13-2002-103, Walnut Street Bridge Repair and Rehabilitation, TDOT PIN number 128.099.00, for an increase of $307,741.93 for construction administrative services, NEPA documentation, public relations, and decorative lighting elements, for a total project cost of $896,141.93. Item K, a resolution authorizing a spend limit increase for the existing blanket contract number 560047, paving and concrete repair or replacement, contract number W-20-010-201, with TNT Concrete LLC of Calhoun, Tennessee, for year 4, from $1.5 million to $2.5 million, representing a total increase of $1 million to cover increased usage by various departments.
See no hand. 9D, please.
A resolution to amend Resolution Number 30906, authorizing the Department of Parks and Outdoors to enter into a third amended agreement for the Tennessee Aquarium Plaza water feature maintenance with the Tennessee Aquarium, a nonprofit agency, for an increase of 5% annually over the next 3 years, bringing the yearly total up to $432,181.00 for the third year.
Thank you. E, F, and G, please.
Item E, a resolution authorizing the Administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1, final, for John Bryant Construction LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number Y-17-005-204 East Lake Community Center improvements and North River Civic Center repairs for an increased amount of $8,818.67 for a revised total amount of $84,710.67. Item F, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number E-23-017-201, City Hall Annex Improvements to J. Brennan Construction, Inc. of Dalton, Georgia, for $1,692,135.52, with a contingency in the amount of $169,200.00, for a total amount of $1,861,335.52. Item G, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number C-23-003-201, Wood Recycle Center paving maintenance to Kane Industries LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, for $1,177,612.13, with a contingency in the amount of $22,387.87, for a total amount of $1.2 million.
Thanks a lot. This concludes Parks and Public Works Committee. Thank you to all those who work for Parks and Public Works. Keep up the good work. This time, Councilman Leffers.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for. Are we ready for planning and zoning, Karen? I know I have. We had a last month off, and I've been having withdrawals. I'm feeling better now. Can I get the motion for our minutes, please? Okay, since we didn't have a meeting, we'll go back one. All right, thank you very much. Motion minutes will stand as directed. Karen, we have a very short agenda. We are still working through our new zoning ordinance, and we really have two items. District 1 is taking the maximum of this session, along with one item in District 7. You want to take us through the Hillock Farms?
Yes,
And I'll fly over.
Yes, there are 5 cases on the upcoming agenda, and 2 ordinances and 1 special permits related to Hillock Farms. So we noted them as having opposition, but the person there in question lived in the apartment complex that exists on site and just asked a question about access onto Highway 153 once all the other additional residential development was built. The applicant representative did reply that they were updating the traffic study, and that seemed to at least alleviate or address that, the person's concerns. So don't know as much opposition as just their planning commission requesting information. So there are 3 cases as shown. 1 is a rezoning, 1 is lifting all prior conditions from a 2014 case, and then 1 is a special permit for a PUD. These do all come with recommendations from planning commission to approve. And this is referencing action. There's been quite a bit of zoning action on the site. This is the site just southeast of the intersection of Boy Scout Road and 153. It was very robust zoning case several years ago, and this is transitioning that site from kind of that mixed use to primarily residential, a mix of townhomes and single-family homes with a commercial node right at the 153 entrance where the existing entrance is.
Very good. Chairman Henderson, I see your light. I know you've been very involved in this.
I didn't really have a comment about this case. It was really the next one. But Karen, I noticed, and when it lists all conditions, there was a detention pond on this property that's existing. It seemed like to me the overlay got into that detention pond, but I did not see where they were relocating that. Is that something that'll be handled when it goes to permitting, or?
I believe it would be handled during permitting. The conditions that are on the property are really an outlier in the amount of conditions, and kind of the amount of conditions that have been placed on this property over time are really an outlier for for zoning. So a lot of the items that we did or might have been placed as conditions in 2014, we now just address through permitting.
Okay,
But I can follow up on that specifically, and I'll get back with you.
okay, thank you.
You good, Chairman?
Well, and then just come back to me on the next one, or I don't know if
I
she's.
can go through them. The first is the rezoning, and then the lifting conditions.
No, I'm talking about the next case, 0149.
Okay. Yes.
Medicine.
Okay, that answers my question. I was looking to see if there was any opposition.
There was no opposition.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. I'm trying to give you something, Chairman, but we had a good session.
I know you're back, I mean, it's been a while, so you're trying to stretch it out.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a little short, so, okay. On time, sorry. Well, I'm going to offer the opportunity. Councilwoman Dudley, do you have anything you'd like to add on District 7 case?
Well, honestly, it's my first time seeing it, so I would like to, not necessarily a presentation, but just what are they doing?
Okay. Would you like for the applicant to reach out to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Karen, can we make sure
Yes.
that happens? Thank you. And then moving into item H, obviously, is the PUD that goes with the above cases, 0146 and 0148. Chairman, you have any questions on the PUD or the permitting question? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Karen, I think that's going to take us through, unfortunately, this part of it. But I think it is important, if you don't mind, will you talk a little bit about where we're at with the equivalency mapping?
Yes.
I think we have a new deadline or a time frame that we're looking at, and then also the amendment items as we had promised.
Yes.
That we would add into the end of each of our meetings.
Okay, so we are heading towards the equivalency map. Before we do that, we wanted to give both a hard copy map and a digital copy to council members of the before and after zoning map for your district. And so we will, we have those ready to print out. We'll drop them off at the office and then send you a digital copy tomorrow. We do hope to go live with, we have a website and map that shows the current zoning map and then the equivalent map. We hope it is pretty easy to work through. The intention is that someone could kind of follow 4 steps and learn about what the process is, check their zoning, make sure they understand. There's some frequently asked questions, and then to contact staff. And then we did hear loud and clear that needs to be clear, particularly for someone zoned R1, what the new equivalent zone would be. So we hope we've spent quite a bit of time on that. We hope that is pretty clear. We also plan on pushing out information to anyone who's signed up for information to date about the new website, the grace period that council approved last week, and then we do have some proposed amendments coming up. So we did commit to a series of quarterly amendments. That was after the effective date. So the first official amendment cycle is January. But we've already identified and working with applicants, and because we've been using the ordinance so much, just a few things that needed some clarification. Some of that are doing the equivalency mapping, realizing we might want to change some of the permitted uses. So we discussed those with Planning Commission this past meeting, and are presenting those to Planning Commission in 2 or 3 weeks. But we will send that as out to is kind of the full communication about where we are, grace period, change of schedule, which I'll touch on in a minute, the story map, and the proposed upcoming amendments. So anyone who's using the zones can kind of see that we've got a few tweaks to them. Originally, we hoped to have the zoning map to Planning Commission in October. We are not going to meet the October deadline and be able to have meaningful interaction with folks and have people have enough time to look at the map and ask staff questions. So we are moving that to November, and that is really just to say this project has been a huge lift for staff, both technically and just to go through and make sure we get the most equivalent zone all at the same time while we have folks working with people that are already using the document, both on LDO and in the public. So that would move, we probably will be coming back and asking to change the effective date, but we've just got a lot going on right now. So I did want to just take this opportunity to thank staff. I did mention this is a really big project, and I just wanted to give a shout out to our staff team. Brian Schultz, Emily Wood, Darren Gilkinson, Lee Bissinger, and Melanie Collins have really helped pull all this together and just really make it work. And I think when you see the story map and the website, you're going to be pretty impressed. But I did want to take the opportunity to thank those folks.
Karen, thank you. Let me also add, if council, if you have not reached out to RPA and add to their list of things to do, I know that I have asked for a schedule to help push this out into the community so that the community is aware and has an opportunity to see this in real life, so to speak. We're scheduled at the Hamilton YMCA sometime in the near future to have an open house to invite folks. That was part of what council asked, and I want to make sure that you all are doing that, so please make sure you are doing that. And RPA, thank you so much. I know that you're working alongside of applicants as we go through this process as well, because I hear from them, and it's remarkable how you're able to actually converse with them. And that's the flexibility that we were looking for, that I think is so important, that we promised during this process, and you're doing it. So I know you're tired, but we also thank you very, very much for backing us up, and I think that's just very important to acknowledge. So.
And we certainly, part of the 4 steps are for folks to contact staff. We hope we got all the equivalency right, but we do want to hear from people. So if you do have someone contact you, we are happy to sit down and make sure we understand it, and, try to respond if we got a zone wrong. And also, we had committed, when we were going through the adoption process for the zoning ordinance, to do a work session with council for the zoning map, so we can coordinate if that is something we still want to do, and we can just let you know maybe at that date the feedback we've gotten and the adoption process for the map.
Very good, Karen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Council, any other questions or items you'd like before we close out planning and zoning? Mr. Dooley, did we cover everything?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. I will now turn the chair back over to Chairman Henderson.
All right, moving into our order of business for the Chattanooga City Council. Madam Clerk, are you ready? All right, let's take ordinances, final reading, 7A, please.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 16, Section 16.2, relating to the age of fire department applicants.
Councilman Ledford.
I'll move to approve, Chairman.
Second. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments concerning this item before we vote? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? The motion does carry. Now moving into ordinances, first reading. Madam Clerk, with no objection, let's take items 8A and B together as a package.
Item A, an ordinance closing and abandoning a sewer easement in the 100 block of Willie Way, beginning at MH number S154A008, thence 242 feet to MH number S154A010, tax map number 154AA018, as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance closing and abandoning a sanitary sewer and easement in the 3700 block of Valerian Drive, beginning 24.86 feet from MH number S118F0140, thence 130.43 feet to 24.93 feet from MH number S118F042, for a total of 130.43 linear feet, tax map number 118FD003, as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
All right, what is the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 8A and B with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Now moving into resolutions. Madam Clerk, with no objection, would you read 9A, B, and C together as a package.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the Department of Economic Development to apply for and, if awarded, accept the pathways to removing obstacles to housing Pro-Housing Grant from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, to scale land bank activities and build capacity for permanent and long-term affordable housing solutions in Chattanooga with no local match requirement for an amount up to $7.5 million. Item B, a resolution authorizing the mayor his designee to enter into an amendment grant or recreational and construction easement with Vincent Properties LLC and substantially the form attached related to the construction, maintenance, operation, and access to a dumpster area located adjacent to the Coolidge Park property. Item C, a resolution authorizing the mayor his designee to enter into a license agreement with the state of Tennessee, acting by and through its Commissioner of Transportation and the Industrial Development Board, and substantially the form attached for a temporary 40-foot lock gate opening and the state's controlled access fence at mile marker 1.569 adjacent to I-75 North with a term that will automatically terminate upon completion of the construction project, with this being at an annual fee of $0.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 9A, B, and C with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Ayes have it. Moving now to 9D, E, and F, please.
Item D, a resolution authorizing a spend limit increase for existing Money.com blanket contract PA 100296, years 3 and 4 for project management application used citywide, with an increase from $75,000 to $150,000 annual spend limit, representing a total annual increase of $75,000 to cover the cost of additional product licenses due to the expansion of the project management platform, with an initial subscription set up as a pilot program with 25 users and has expanded to 300 users citywide and expanding. Item E, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Betsy Hartman to the Beer Board for a term beginning on July 17, 2024 and ending on July 16, 2027. Item F, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Roger Rupp to the Air Pollution Control Board for a term beginning on October 2nd, 2024 and ending on October 1, 2028.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9D through F with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Is Ms. Hartman or Mr. Rupp in the room this afternoon? No? Okay. Well, if you are watching, we do thank you for your service. Moving into Parks, Public Works, and Wastewater, Madam Clerk. 9G through K, please.
Item G, a resolution for the city of Chattanooga to apply for and, if awarded, accept a Riverview Foundation grant for the development of the access point to the Tennessee River at Terminal Road for an amount of $75,000. Item H, a resolution authorizing the Department of Parks and Outdoors to apply for and, if awarded, accept the Childhood Obesity Prevention and Environmental Health and Sustainability Grant from the U.S. Conference of Mayors in support of Every Kid Outdoor Program in the amount of $175,000. Item I, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number E13002-201 Walnut Street Pedestrian Bridge Repairs, Federal Project Number STP-MHPP 9202134, State Project Number 33LP-LM-F3229 to Southern Road and Bridge LLC of Tarpon Springs, Florida, for in the amount of $34,656,886, with a contingency in the amount of $335,928.56, for a total amount of $34,992,814.56. Item J, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to authorize change order number 2 for design, bid award, and construction administrative services provided by Volkirk and Associates, Inc. for contract number E13002-103 Walnut Street Bridge Repair and Rehabilitation, T.PN number 128,099.00 for an increase of $307,741.93 for construction administrative services, NEPA documentation, public relations, and decorative lighting elements for a total project cost of $896,141.93. Item K, a resolution authorizing the spend limit increase for the existing blanking contract number 560047, paving and concrete repair or replacement, contract number W200100201 with TNT Concrete LLC of Calhoun, Tennessee for year 4 from $1.5 million to $2.5 million, representing a total increase of $1 million to cover increased usage by various departments.
It's a pleasure to council.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9G through K with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Let's wrap it up with police, Madam Clerk. 9L through O, please.
Item L, a resolution authorizing Chief of Police to apply for and, if awarded, accept a Bureau for Justice Assistance, BJA FY 2024 Collaborative Crisis Response Training Grant for funds to be used to help those experiencing a health-related crisis for a 36-month period beginning October 1, 2024 through September 30, 2027, in the amount of $216,783. Item M, a resolution authorizing Chief of Police to apply for and, if awarded, accept a COPS FY 2024 Safer Outcomes Escalating De-escalation Crisis Response Training Grant for funds to be used for crisis intervention, training courses, crisis-related education, and training sensory kits for de-escalation, a database for referrals and specialized subject matter expert training for a 24-month period beginning October 1, 2024 through September 30, 2026, in the amount of $253,075. Item N, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Joshua Ware as a Special Commissioned Police Officer unarmed for McCamey Animal Services to perform duties expressly limited to the performance of the duties in the position of Animal Protection Officer. Item O, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Chad Anthony Way as a Special Commissioned Police Officer unarmed for McCamey Animal Services to perform duties expressly limited to the performance of the duties in the position of Animal Protection Officer.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed is no. Motion carries. Moving into our purchases for this afternoon, Ms. Talley.
Hello. We have 10 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first one being finance. This is a sole source purchase for risk-based analysis of general fund reserve levels in the amount of $75,000. GFOA is the sole source provider due to its licensing and memberships in local government and 501c3 status. Number 2 is finance. This is a one-time purchase of consulting services with Ernest Young to analyze 4 functional areas of the city, evaluating processes and comparing them to the best industry practices to identify opportunities to improve. This purchase will be utilizing Omnia Contract 11-58 in the amount of $302,852.12. The third is finance. The finance department is requesting an increase of $145,000 to the blanket agreement with PFM Financial Advisors. The increase will cover the formulation of financial and debt policies and administrative procedures, bringing the new annual spend to $363,500. Number 4 is for technology services. The department is requesting an increase of $9,000 for years 2, 3, and 4. This is for an annual SSO fee. The total increase will be $27,000. The new total cost is $236,814.41. Number 5 is for Public Works Facilities Management. The department is requesting an increase of $250,000 to be added to the blanket agreement with Gallagher and Associates for installation of card access security system at 20 fire stations located throughout the city. The number 6 is for the fire department. This is a one-time purchase with Spartan Fire for 2 Spartan Squad pumpers and 4 Spartan S-180 model 2114 Legend pumpers in the amount of $5,581,194 for the fire department. This purchase will be made utilizing Sourcewell contract 113021-RVG-4. Number 7 is for Parks and Outdoors. This is a 2-month extension for alarm monitoring services until December 7th, 2024, to give time for rebidding the contract. No money will be added to the contract. Number 8 is for Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is a one-time purchase of one Peterbilt 520 PB dual drive chassis with Labrie body in the amount of $404,824.40 for Street Maintenance Waste Division. This purchase will be utilizing Sourcewell contract number 110223-LEG. Number 9 is also for Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is a one-time purchase of a Kenworth T380 Stellar TMA X2 for Stormwater Division. The award will go to Cherokee Truck Equipment in the amount of $267,560 and is the best bid for the city of Chattanooga. Number 10 is for the police department. This is a one-time purchase of ammunition for the police department training division in the amount of $122,140.04. This will utilize Tennessee statewide contract number 331.
All right.
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve this evening's purchase request with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Okay, we have one sole source this evening. It is for Technology Services and Police Department. This is a sole source purchase for CLE Advanced POCAM Mini High Performance in the amount of $38,047 for the Police Department. This item was designed and manufactured by Valorance. This is a remotely operated and managed surveillance system with rapid deployment PO or vehicle most surveillance solution.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right, before we go into committee reports, I think Mr. Attorney has a report of his own.
Yes, sir. Just to announce a settlement of a claim by a fellow with the name of Frederick J. Moore. It's claim number C039133-102423. And it's involving the Public Works Department in the amount of $120,000.
All right, thank you, sir. Now we go into committee reports. Councilman Smith.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Ledford.
Planning and zoning didn't meet today, sir.
Councilman Hester.
Parks and Public Works did meet today also.
Thank you. Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilwoman Knoll.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Dotley.
No report.
Madam Vice Chair.
No report.
All right, thank you. Now we come to the time where we recognize persons wishing to address the council this afternoon. Is there anybody that would like to address the council? All right, Mr. Attorney, if you would, please read the rules.
Yes, sir. Let me plug it in before it goes out. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each person wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and not on matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Don't engage in any vulgar or obscene language or use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. Address your comments to the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members. And do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law, and someone commits an offense if the person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, go right ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Council. Josh Branham, 2963 Emnicola Highway, Governmental Affairs Director for Greater Chattanooga Realtors. Our association represents all 2,700 realtors in the Greater Chattanooga area. There is a report placed on your desk before we started today. It came out back in May, and believe it or not, I happened to miss it. This is a report put out in conjunction with the National Association of Home Buyers each year, outlining nationwide what the average economic impact is for a typical home sale. Nationwide, it's on the second page here. I can read with the best of them. The National Association of Realtors estimates that the real estate market contributed 18%, which is almost $4.9 trillion to the gross domestic product in 2023. For the state of Tennessee, I thought you all would find it of interest that for the year 2023, the real estate industry accounted for $82.5 billion, or almost 16% of the gross state product for the year. And it's easy to think, when you sell a house, you move on and you go on from there, but real estate touches so many different facets of our community. On average, each home sale creates 2 jobs on average, and this is a interesting breakdown that I just wanted to provide you all, and I'll be back in a couple weeks for the September market statistics, but also today is former President Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday, and what better way to remember him, honor him, than mentioning that our joint fundraiser with Habitat for Humanity is coming up next week. I know some of you have purchased tickets for it, but tomorrow's the deadline. If you want to do the golf scramble, a team of 4 is $800, and if that's not your thing, on Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, October 7th, we will be having a wine tasting event at the Waterhouse Pavilion with music provided by yours truly and an actual talented friend of mine. But like I said last time, we can stop playing if the money is right for Habitat, of course. So thank you all for what you do, and see you soon.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Council, I'm not seeing anyone. What's your pleasure? So moved. We're adjourned.